Hello everybody, it's Melissa Thomas from C2C Stamping. Super excited to see you. I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to do some reversible stamping. So let's take a look at this. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to move this up and out of the way. Just want to make sure I can see us over here. All right, so here's what we're going to work on. We are going to play around with the Natural Botanicals stamp set. I have seen some really cute samples with this, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that we can do with it. So let me grab all my pieces here. All right, and then I'm going to grab one of these. All right. So what's cool about reversible stamps, and we have a few of them. I was actually looking to see, we had a whole bunch for a while, like a sea turtle, and but now I think we have maybe two. Yeah, so right now we have Planted Paradise, which is one of them, and then we have the Natural Botanicals. Planted Paradise is going away, so that's our last chance. Natural Botanicals is carrying over, so you've got a full year to get this one. And then we do have a new one coming out in May called Feathered Fun, and it's these really cute little birds. So I want to show you kind of why we made reversibles, how they work, maybe some fun things that you can do with them. And I'll make this card, but I'm also going to stamp a few other pieces to show you some other ways that you can use them. So if you've got questions, you can always pop in and say hello and chat and ask me questions, or just say you're here. This is a fun range of colors. This is actually a sample that Stampin' Up! Made, and I copied the sample because I thought it was a fun color combo, but it's a little wild. So it's Peach Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, Granny Applesmith, and Lemon Lime Twist, which is, quite wild. So here's what we're going to do. We've got our small piece, and I'm going to keep our sample kind of over here today. I think I can probably adjust us a little bit. There we go. Okay, great. Yeah, is that good? All right, perfect. All right, where are the stamps? I'm laughing because I'm like, where are my stamps? I don't think I put them. No, I did. I put everything back in. I cleaned everything and put everything back in the case. Is that not wild? All right. So we're just going to use two of these to build this set. And I need my other blocks. This is a bit of overkill for this, but that's fine. All right, so we have a smooth side to the stamp and we have a detailed side. So we're going to use the smooth side first. And as I mentioned, I was teaching this with a class today. This starts off looking a little hot mess, but it gets better as we add some more detail. So we're going to add this, and we're going to kind of have it going to the left. So leaning to the left. Then that's in Lemon Lime Twist, which is not my favorite color, but I know there's many people who like it. And I'm going to clean my stamps with baby wipes today because that's what I have access to. All right, then we're going to stamp, and we're going to stamp with Peach Pie this fun flip side of this flower. Oh, well, that one is stuck good. All right. And my peach pie is very, very new, so it is very, very juicy. It is not a color I use often, but I'm hoping to use it more this next year. This is one of those in colors that we only get for 2 years. All right, so we're gonna clean that. So one of the cool things about reversibles, and I'll show you on this other piece here, is that you can stamp an image and then add some definition. So for instance, let's see, this is a good one. So if I wanted to stamp, I'm going to do this on a smaller piece. I'm going to use that bigger piece of paper for that. Okay. So if I wanted to stamp the background piece of this in, this is petal pink, yeah. Nope, I did the wrong way. That's okay. You know? So I would do the background, the thicker one, in the lighter color. And then I'm going to add some detail in the darker color. So I could come back. That's in petal pink. And then I could come back with my pretty in pink. And I will say be careful that this lays straight. So the way that I kind of ensure that for myself is I like to kind of just lay it on a, on a flat work surface and then pick it up with my block. Then I know it's on there straight. And so we can just match that up. And we can stamp on top. So now we have a filled in image. So that's one way to use the reversibles, is to fill in images. We are not going to fill this in for the little fun piece on top. So we're just gonna stamp that, and we're gonna fussy cut that. But we're gonna go back to our other piece, this big branch, and going to add a little bit of definition. So now we're going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green. And this is not the best Granny Apple Green. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it got exposed to the heat or something. I'm replacing it. It's okay. It's kind of fun. It has some natural variations in it. All right. And then we're going to stamp a leaf in Pool Party, which is kind of wild, but I love it. And I think it adds a lot of interest to this greenery. I think it makes it really fun. And then I want to show you a fun way to add some color here. So, this is neat. So one of the things that I saw someone do, where did my wipey go? Here it is. They took the block and they took the solid leaf and they kind of stamped it on an angle. And we could actually probably do the whole thing if we're going to use this. So we're going to use Pool Party here, and then we're going to use some pretty peacock maybe on the bottom. You can just layer that. I thought that was a fun way to add some, that's definitely not perfect, but a fun way to add like some different color to this. And then they came back later and they did a Versamark with some gold embossing powder on top. I'm going to redo that because I don't like how that looked. And that is why we have two pieces of paper to give it another try. All right, so we're gonna make sure we get nice ink from our Pool Party. That looks a little better. And then just a little bit. All right, so that looks a little like better coverage. Perfect. All right. And then I'm going to add some embossing powder on that. I'm going to make another card. And so hopefully you'll come over to Instagram tomorrow and you'll see that and you can check that out. I'll make a card. Maybe I'll add another flower, do something with this flower too. So, all right. So this one, we're going to hopefully find some snips. I know I moved them all. And we're going to just So we're going to fussy cut this. So you'll notice I don't move my scissors very much. I move the paper. That's the key to fussy cutting. I also have a little white cloud around what I'm cutting so that if I'm not perfect at cutting, which I'm not perfect, it actually kind of tricks your eye into believing that what I did was great. So I love that. All right. And then we're going to stamp a sentiment. It is from a now retired set, which is wild. It wasn't retired like 2 weeks ago, but Something Fancy is a stamp set that I like a lot. And it had a lot of really good sentiments, including one about a belated birthday that I wish we still had. But I'm still going to use it because that's what I used. And so I'm rolling with what I've got. The other thing I used on here was I used the brass butterflies, the brush brass butterflies. You could use the dragonflies or you could use the bees if you bought some of the bee trinkets, the tiny bees. They're really cute. The bees just make it a little more, it sticks up a little bit. So that might not be ideal for mailing. That might make it a lot more difficult for mailing. All right, let's see what kind of adhesive I've got on my desk. I took all my other adhesive to the class. So we're just going to put this together, and all I did... Oh, well, that's new. That's weird. Very strange. Okay. All I did was just glue this down flat. And then we're going to add these two pieces with some dimensionals. And whatever kind of dimensionals you have near me at this moment, this is what I have. So I'm going to use some of these. I think they were from a paper pumpkin or something. Doesn't really matter. Although, I mean, you would think it's narrow enough. It might be. So I would not go to the trouble of popping this up with dimensionals. I don't think it's necessary to pop up the stem, and I did not on mine. It's just kind of glued down with a little bit of glue. But you know, you can do whatever you want. And depending on how you arrange your leaves and your flowers, you might end up putting your sentiment somewhere else. You might put your flower somewhere else. And that's okay. All right. I think there we go. I'm going to use we've got the little birds too. I might do the birds on this one. I've got a couple of extra birds. So this has birds that fly up and birds that fly down. And then it also has the dragonflies, the little brass dragonflies, which I think are really cute. I like the dragonflies a lot. But I have a bunch of these birds, so I'm convinced I need to use them. So let's have a bird flying up and maybe a bird swooping in and maybe another bird flying up. All right, perfect. So here we have a couple of fun cards made with the reversible stamp set, natural botanicals. This was actually a free celebration item at the end of celebration, and a lot of times things are free at the end of celebration because they're going to be going away. And so I thought, well, I'll get it. It's probably going to go away. And then when I saw it was carrying over the new catalog, I thought, ooh, yay, fun. I want to play with this some. So I'm really excited to be able to play with it. I hope you like this sample and you kind of see how fun the color scheme is. Perfect spring card. And let me know if you have any questions, but I'm happy to help and hope that you enjoyed tonight and learning a little bit about the reversibles and what you can do with them. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.